Forget ye Dungeons and Dragons, cast thy Diablo aside. Speak naught of Ultima and the like. I speak of the adventure so awesome and legendary that it's got its own sequel in the search for more money. I speak of the oft-forgotten, yet much beloved, Medievil.
Unhand me, you undead pricks!
So today we are off to October 1998 to visit another dear old favourite of mine, Medievil. Developed and published by Sony Computer Entertainment on the PS1, and I'll give you 3 guesses how I feel about this game. I, cowing, adore it, and I will forgive it anything. So, Medievil is an adventure, action, hack and slash, set in the kingdom of Gameroom, where the evil sorcerer Zarok has unleashed hordes of nightmares, the Walking Dead, and other quasi-comical denizens of darkness in a bid to, yep, you guessed it, take over the world.
Of course!
But in the process, his magic inadvertently resurrects Sir Daniel Fortescue, hero of the Battle of Gameroom, fell at the first charge, and a total tit. As the game progresses, Sir Dan Fortescue will redeem himself and prove himself to be the true hero of Gameroom. Okay, so this game is brilliant. I know I say that a lot, and yes, I'm biased as you can get, but for me, this game has ticked all the right boxes. Now, for the generation that was obsessed with Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid, and other fine examples of the games like... No, not you, Resident Evil, no, not you. Back in your box. Back in your box, no, back. I'll deal with you later. I was one of those kids that never really found much joy in Tomb Raider. I liked adventure games, but I wanted something more, you know, fantastic, and weird. And Medievil just ticks every single box. When it was developed, there was a clear influence of The Nightmare Before Christmas, and another favourite of mine. And Medievil has that in buckets. The game is pure sugar-fueled Halloween goodness in all its glory. And I play Medievil 1 and 2 yearly with enough sugary substances to induce a diabetic coma. The visuals are spooky and quirky and off the wall. The writing has this delicious British quality. It's almost as if it's a nugget of Terry Pratchett. It has that wonderful, dry, sardonic wit to it.
It has risen again, Sir Daniel Fortescue. See? The hero of Gameroom who fell at the first charge. The fog of war and the shrouds of time conspire to turn the arrow fodder into the saviour of the day. But we knows better. Let it alone. Fate has given it a second chance. A chance to forget the ignoble truth. A chance to defeat Zarok and live up to the legend. We hopes it does well.
And in a kind of compare and contrast kind of way, it does remind one of games like Ghosts and Goblins. However, Medievil is not as punishing. I mean, nothing can be that difficult. It has an absolutely gorgeous soundtrack by Paul Arnold and Andrew Barnabas, and they blend the strange, the wondrous, and the pure bloody odd all into one package, and I think it's just wonderful. They take really heavy elements from the likes of Danny Elfman to try and keep up with that Nightmare Before Christmas vibe, and I'm telling you, mwah, chef's kiss. While I might be kind of rose-tinted lenses for the most part about this game, the game is not without its problems. People have complained about the controls being akin to those of Medievil. No, not yet, get back. Oh, I'll deal with that one day. But I find them to be just a little bit backwards, but it's not necessarily always forwards. It's only forwards dependent on where Sir Daniel Fortescue is actually facing. So, you know, up is not necessarily always forward, and if Sir Dan is looking towards you, then forward is actually down. It's a very strange system, but you do kind of get used to it. It's a bit of trial and error, but you know it works. It just takes just a little bit of getting used to. So you do spend probably, I don't know, the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game just wandering around in circles, thinking, which way the bloody hell am I going? And then you kind of get the idea of how the controls work. The camera, however, oh my lordy, the camera is my biggest gripe. It can be very awkward, very clunky, and sometimes it's kind of hard to see where you're going, or indeed where you need to go. A bit of trial and error, you know, can cure this, but I can see why people, you know, why this kind of put people off at the time. And it's even noted that the camera system in the game just works. And I think that was a case of, did they run out of time? I'm not sure, but it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But you know, you can work with it. It doesn't make the game unplayable by any stretch of the imagination. Is it a hard game? It's not easy. I think it strikes that right level of challenge, which steadily ramps up as you do get, as you go through the game. And you do get to put into practice all the skills that you learn along the way to defeat the bosses, which is oh so satisfying. And this game has something for the collector maniacs in the audience as well. If you kill enough baddies, you collect their souls, which are the little red wisps that float up, and in the corner you'll have this little cup with a counter on it. When that reaches 100, you can collect the chalice. Now when you collect the chalice, you get access to the Hall of Heroes.
Back from the battle so soon? It must think it is a hero by now. But only a true hero is worthy of a place in the Hall of Heroes. See the ghostly statue of your fraudster self? When it has turned solid, a true hero you will be.
Which is where Sir Daniel Fortescue's peers spend eternity drinking and wenching and, you know, basically doing everything that warriors do. And once he gets access to the Hall of Heroes, the spirits of the past, they talk to him, some berate him, but for the most part, they do actually help him. They give him weapons, energy power-ups, vials, bits and pieces like that. And basically, the more that you collect, the more chance you have of getting the power-ups that you need in order to stand unearthly to actually defeat Zarok. And believe me, you are going to need every little bit of help you can get. And it's just wonderful. Also, this game isn't exactly what you call a pure hack and slash. There is a heavy puzzle element to this game, which, you know, I really appreciate. But the thing is, the puzzles, or the way that you open doors and traps and gates and this, that and the other, it's not necessarily abundantly clear, so there's a lot of trial and error, which basically means hit things, turn things, and try things until something works, and you kind of work it out as you go along. The game doesn't hold your hand, but it doesn't necessarily let you stumble around in the dark to the point at which you completely lose interest. It's very hard to describe, but I will say that as the game goes further on, there is a wonderful puzzle element, and some of the puzzles are just absolutely mind-twisted in places. I had to go away to, you know, not cheat codes, I had to go away to strategy guides and people who might know these sort of things, even back in the day, just to try and work out what the hell I could do, because some of these puzzles just did not let up. But you'll find that out as you play the game. The game is bright, yet dark, spooky, yet silly, it's thrilling, it's annoying, and it's just a wonderful nugget of pure Halloween fun that can be enjoyed by anyone. And if anyone ever thought that this game actually looked too kiddie, then you are sorely mistaken, and I would advise you to go and actually have a crack at this game right now. And it is wonderful, I love it, and I get the feeling that you'd get a good kick out of it too. Oh, and the figure of worship today is Paul Darrow.
So, even from the shackles of death, my old enemy pursues me. You're too late, Fortescue. Already my army has risen from the grave. You will never leave this necropolis.
From Blake 7, he plays Zarok. God save the king. Anyway, anyone who knows me knows that I was going to love this one. I hope you do too. If you've played this game before, do you own it? Share your memories in the comments. I'd love to hear from everybody. Apart from that, I'm going to get out your hair. Thank you all. I've been Walsallmatt.